Are you guys excited for Pokémon Legends EA? I know I am. But today, I want to look beyond and try to think of what Game Freak could be planning for us in the future. Yes, I know that after Legends EA, we are most likely getting Gen 10, and it might be too early to talk about this, but I still think it would be a fun topic to discuss. Okay, so if we're having a new Legends game, in which region would it take place? Naturally, we can scratch Sinnoh and Kalos off our list, since those two already have Legends games. So, to decide where the third Legends game could be, we should try to see what the two we have in common. Both Legends Arceus and ZA take place in regions that were kind of underwhelming when they first released. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Sinnoh and Kalos. Both are regions with extremely cool lore, Pokemon, and characters, but their games lacked in some areas. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl had quite literally two fire-type evolutionary lines, one being the Chimchar line, and there were several areas that felt more annoying than challenging. Platinum did fix some issues, but that's another game altogether. As for X and Y, the games are so easy that anyone, except for Kid Me apparently, could beat it with their eyes closed. Yes, Mega Evolution was cool, but there was no need to fear them because you only fight 3 in the entire game and get 2 free to use, the Lucario and the Kanto starter of your choice. Now that I've made my point, what region had a very poorly received game that has way more lore than what was explored in the games? Oh yeah, Galar. Yeah, Sword and Shield might not have been the best games, but the stories they could tell in this region are insane. I'll get more into what I think could be a good idea for the games in a bit, but now that we settled on Galar, let's talk about the starters. I don't want to spend too much time on the starters because I think it is pretty well established that they're going to be Snivy, Litten, and Popplio. Why, you may ask? Well, all Legends games thus far have used Pokemon of either Gen 2, 5, or 7. And since we already have Rowlet, Cyndaquil, and Oshawott in Arceus, and will have Chikorita, Tepig, and Totodile in ZA, it's safe to assume we'll have the missing ones later. Naturally, since all starters of Legends games get something special, with Arceus ones getting regional forms and the ZA ones most likely getting Megas, the next ones would probably get G-Max forms in a Galar set Legends game. The last thing I want to cover today is possible story elements Game Freak could use in this game. Game Freak already broke all expectations with Legends EA by confirming that it is not set in the past, but I think the best way to explore Galar's full potential would be with a game set in the past just like Legends Arceus. However, making a game that happens before the creation of Pokeballs, which according to Legends Arceus should have been about 150 years before the modern day Pokemon world, most likely wouldn't work gameplay wise. Because of this, I think I should just make this hypothetical game happen after the events of Sword and Shield, even if I think a medieval Pokemon game would be cooler. Alright, now that that's out of the way, the game would be Pokémon Legends Eternatus, and would focus on Eternatus. Shocking, I know. But there's one issue with this, because you, the player character, caught Eternatus in Sword and Shield. So because of this, I'm making it so that you left it with Sonia before leaving for some affairs in another region or something. The old power plant at Hammerlock would now be repurposed into Sonia's new lab, where the protagonist's home base of operations would be for this Legends game. I'm not going to go into full detail, but some new evil team in this game would want to use Eternatus' power to take over Galar, and would break into the lab while you're out doing research for Sonia and steal Eternatus. Then, you would have to go through the region to stop this evil team who is using the Galar particles from Eternatus to make Pokemon who couldn't G-Max gain new G-Max forms and go on a rampage. I don't know if Game Freak would do this, but it would be awesome if these G-Max battles could use the real-time battling of Legends EA and be kinda like a Megazord versus Megazord fight. Maybe the player could hop on one of those Aegislash that the referees used in Pokemon Journeys to see the fight from above. Now, these are just some random thoughts, but I think they could also explain Calyrax's blue Dynamax and maybe have it be the key to stop Eternatus, who would rampage in the end of the game and turn into a new form for a final boss battle. Thanks for watching the video. If you like my ideas and would like me to make an entire video dedicated to the full story of this What If Legends game, Let me know in the comments. Also, tell me what game you think would be a good fit for the next Legends game. Anyways, it was great being here, and I'll see you guys next time.